everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nidhi and you're watching my series on how to become a cabin crew. So if you haven't watched the first two videos of this particular series, which I'm making on resume, based on how you can actually use your personality and how you can incorporate some of the things from your experience, or even if you're a fresher from your personal life, to make your resume stand out, go ahead and watch the first two videos and then go ahead and watch this video, because this video is all about ATS, which is Applicant Tracking System. Now, primarily most airlines these days do not conduct walk-in interviews, and because of that they usually invite you to submit their applications online, and while you're doing that you would have to attach a copy of your resume, and that resume does not go through the human eye, it goes through the robots. And that is what the applicant tracking system is all about. Now, because it goes through the robots, there is a very high chance, if your resume is not ATS proof, it will actually get deleted or filtered out rather from the system. And that is why I'm making this video, because I want to share with you some of the key things that you can actually do to your resume to ensure that it does not get filtered out, and at the same time some of the things that you can incorporate in your resume that will make your resume have a higher chance in comparison to other people in getting ATS approved, and of course at the same time getting past the filtration system so you can get that call for the assessment day. But of course, when it comes to resume, the recruiters do take a look at your resume when you actually go for the interview directly. So that is equally important. So let's get started. So first and the most important thing that you want to make sure is that your resume should not have any sort of grammatical errors, spelling mistakes, and things like that, because obviously if a robot is reading your resume, you can pretty much imagine if you have grammatical errors, if you have spelling mistakes, there is a very high chance that your resume might not get approved or bypass the system. Number two, when you're writing your resume, designing and formatting is really important, guys. Make sure you keep it very simple. I know these days we're very attracted to making pie charts and graphs and make your resume very colorful. Sometimes your name is really big in the font size, and then you use different fonts for different titles, different sections, and then of course the font also varies. Don't do all this, guys. ATS gets very confused when they see all this. Simple machine, simple rules. So all you need to do is use very specific fonts that are usually read by all computers in general. So don't go for those weird and fancy fonts and stuff like that. Do not have a lot of variation in your fonts as well. Keep it pretty much the same. Do not make one part of your resume really big in the font size. Sometimes I see the names are really big, but the rest of the resume is really small, the font. So don't do that. At the same time, when you are putting your resume out there, don't actually go ahead and make a lot of columns and stuff like that. Just basically keep it very simple, straight to the point, and yeah, that's what you basically need to do to get yourself a resume that is basically ATS proof. Which brings us to the third point, which is sectioning your resume. So what happens is when you actually put your resume, I don't know whether you guys have noticed, when you fill up online applications, usually you will have sections, and the information would be pulled up based on the sections. So there's usually a section for work experience, there's a section for educational qualifications, there's a section for personal interests, and stuff like that. So if there are sections, it would be very safe to assume that that's exactly how an ATS would work as well. So when you're making your resume, make it very section titled. So work experience is one section, education qualification is one section. So basically the ATS can just pick up relevant information, and that of course will definitely help you again in making sure that your resume does go through. The fourth thing, which I can't stress enough and is actually one of the most important things when it comes to ATS, is to use keywords. I've been talking about it in the last two videos as well, where we're talking about figuring out what are your skills. using those skills to mention in your work experience how you use them to actually deliver results. So skills and keywords are really, really important. The right keywords are really, really important. So go ahead and Google the airline, figure out what are some of the skills that they're looking for, or in general, what are some of the skills that any airline basically looks for in the cabin crew. And last but not the least, make sure all the information that you provide is relevant and correct and genuine and consistent. This is not an ATS proof, but something that I always talk about. So these are some of the things that you can actually incorporate in your resume, and that will help you with this applicant tracking system that we have been talking about. If you do like this video, do remember to comment and share. And of course, do not forget to subscribe to the channel, press the notification bell for more video updates. And as I always say, all of you out there, always stay pretty, stay handsome, and I love you guys.